The market had a major pullback, and during this time, I can't stress how important it is to focus on projects like Axelar. We could easily be buying up projects that have pumped up 100, 200, 300 plus percent, or we could focus on projects like Axelar. And what I mean by that is projects that are still trading at their all time lows or at least around them. With Axelar, we're at levels that we saw back in 2023, right? Like these are major lows on this chart. And not only that, Axelar is extremely strong. We've been talking about it for, months now. We go back to the XRP EVM sidechain. If we think about what Axelar is enabling in the space, it's not just bullish for crypto, it's also bullish for TradFi. Axelar is that bridge that allows all of these networks to essentially interoperate with one another and also allows money to move easily across these networks. Axelar is doing an incredible job in this space. And this is also why I do think that when we look at Axelar in the top 150, I do think that this is one that's going to move quickly up the ranks. And if we're looking at the ranks right now, in terms of just the top 100, okay, you now need over $632 plus million. Obviously, our fully diluted value is around roughly 400 million. Market cap itself, 333 million. So we would have to double almost in value to get to the top 100. But I do think that we could easily breach the top 50. And currently, the top 50 has $1.8 billion in market cap, making Axelar a perfect opportunity for us for major ROI this cycle. And if you needed a hint, yeah, this cycle's not close to being over. We still have time. So definitely focus on Axelar. And the best part is that Axelar is listed on some major exchanges like Binance, Bybit, Coinbase, Mexi, Upbit, Gate.io, KuCoin, HTX, Crypto.com, and so many more. So it's a very easy to buy altcoin. Now, when we think about the price chart, I have been charting Axelar for quite some time. On this recent pullback in the market, we have hit that bottom trend line. I'm definitely focused on this. We have about 1 day, 15 hours until we get the weekly candle close. I believe that we do close above this level. So again, we are at a perfect area for Axelar. We were focused on this trend line for quite some time. We're in that blue zone, aka the demand zone. And when we think about the all-time high going back to just 2024, we're going back to February of 2024. The all-time high from where we currently are trading at, this is 720 plus percent away. So I'm very much so looking forward to seeing what Axelar can accomplish this cycle. And let's actually dive on into exactly why I'm very bullish on Axelar, because it's not just based around, oh, hey, look, it's enabling a lot of things around the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain. No, there's also a lot more going on here. Let's actually talk a little bit more about developer activity because, again, Axelar has been expanding its developer base for quite some time, and we could see it's working. Here we have top projects with the most active developers for the last week. If we look at this, Axelar is in the top 5. Again, looking at this with over 700 plus developer activities in the last 7 days, Axelar is sitting next to some of the big players on the top 100 list. We look at Chainlink, for an example. Obviously, Chainlink is there. We're stacked up right next to Chainlink. I mean, Chainlink alone, if we think about the market cap for Chainlink, $10.8 billion, that's a very significant amount of money compared to Axelar's market cap. Obviously, this is not a good metric to compare it to, but I'm just saying that it goes to show you how active the Axelar ecosystem is and also how solid the developer base on Axelar also is. So this is very bullish. And outside of this, we also do continue to see Axelar make a ton of noise. We have here new paths to Hyperliquid X just opened. Axelar is connecting Hyperliquid to 80 plus chains. Full Port Finance is the first app to put that power in your hands. Imagine all Hyperliquid deposits routed through Axelar. With Full Port, pro traders can now deposit USDC into Hyperliquid in seconds from Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Ethereum, Solana. No wallet switching, beyond bridges, fast native onboarding to one of the deepest markets on chain. This goes deeper than deposits using Axelar's Interchain Token Service, ITS. Token issuers will be able to deploy multi-chain native assets, integrate with Hyper EVM. list on Hypercore, and launch liquidity as well. Infrastructure to execution streamlined. Full port is live in private beta. It's the first app to unlock Hyperliquid via Axelar, and there's more to come. One interface, multiple markets, native access to speed plus liquidity. And when we think about this, yeah, this is very, very exciting stuff. I really want, like, when we think about what Axelar is doing here, I want you all to understand that this is unlocking liquidity in the entire market, interoperable liquidity, interoperable tokens, and this is all through ITS, which this is what ITS actually looks like currently. This is in beta mode, but you can connect your wallet and then you could select any token address, and then you could select all of these chains that they are supporting right now. Again, what they have built here is extremely efficient, and I do think that it's revolutionary for the crypto space. And it's unlocking so much more utility for some of these chains, like even the XRP ledger. Now, talking more so about that, like I said, the ecosystem continues to grow. This is what the ecosystem looks like right now for Axelar. We've talked about how there's 80 plus blockchains enabled on Axelar, and this is exactly what it looks like. It's very bullish. Axelar and what they have accomplished in the last year alone should be on everyone's watch list because, again, this is a project that just continues to make a lot of noise, but the price action just simply isn't there yet, which is why I do think that Axelar is extremely undervalued right now. It's extremely overlooked, and I don't think people realize the potential that this project actually has in it. If we're thinking about, $2.58 or so, that's almost like a $3 billion market cap. I think that we could easily shoot past that, target even $10 billion. I think that Axelar is going to be a huge success in this space, and it's already working with some of the biggest names out there. Now, if we actually think about the ecosystem, there's also another big update, and that was actually from Open Wallet. We have here the Cosmos journey of Open Wallet keeps gaining momentum because, yes, they do have that integration with Cosmos, which is one of the largest blockchains in this space. Axelar Network has just been integrated. You can now securely store and manage Axelar tokens, execute fast cross-chain transfers, and access a foundation that connects to 40 plus chains. And there's much more to come. Again, these types of announcements are very, very common from the Axelar side. If you even go to Axelar's X account and just scroll down, you can see how active they are. They are constantly pushing updates on their X account. We could even see the stats here as well, by the way. I mean, guys, they just continue to grow more and more and more. And at this time in the market, I do think that these are the types of projects that you actually want to keep an eye on. The ones that barely moved in terms of price action, the ones that continue to make a ton of noise, the ones that have been building along the way, even during the bear market, even during the worst times in the space. And also, if you hold XRP or if you hold some of the blockchains that are supported by Axelar, you should also support Axelar because this is actually enabling so much more utility for these other projects that if you hold them, guess what? It's very bullish for you because of what Axelar is doing. I've always brought this up even with XRP because, again, we talk about XRP quite a bit on this channel, and XRP for the longest time really kind of lacked a lot of DeFi side utility. But here we have from Surge Dex, for an example. Surge Mainnet is alive. SurgeDefi.com, big thanks to Piercist for building the rails, and to our bridge champions Squid Router and Axelar, because before you could swap, you need seamless bridges. Let's dive in. Meet Squid, your XRP Ledger to XRP Ledger EVM hero. One click, two wallets, and Squid Router teleports your XRP across chains in no time. No steep learning curve, just trust the Squid. Enter Axelar, and by the way, that does kind of sound funny to say, doesn't it? But regardless, enter Axelar, the guardian of cross-chain value Axelar ITS. This is the interchain, side. Channels your tokens securely and instantly so your dollars follow your strategy. And then you also have Surge Swap. So now that your XRP, USDC, or even wrapped Ethereum is on the XRP Ledger EVM, head to app.surgedefi.com with, of course, this URL. Select your pair XRP to USDC or even wrapped Ethereum to USDC. Hit swap, approve, and watch the instant execution. It's called, it's Capital Kinetic. And then we also have down here deep liquidity post swap. Add to our XRP USDC or wrapped Ethereum USDC pools and watch your yield compound at breakneck speeds and rock bottom fees. Your capital turbocharged. And this is all made possible on the XRP Ledger because of Axelar Network. keep on surge, building cross-chain liquidity infrastructure that supports the XRP Ledger and the XRP Ledger EVM. Connecting these ecosystems is essential for XRP holders and new DeFi protocols. Axelar is the gateway. And yes, this is why I keep saying everyone's celebrating how great the XRP DeFi side of the market is becoming and how we're starting to see the DeFi market really kind of wake up for XRP. However, we're forgetting who is enabling this. And Axelar is one of those big players. And it's at a time where no one is paying attention to Axelar. And also, we go over here. Here we have from Jonathan Morgan. Axelar publishes playbook for enterprise-grade stablecoin launches. Axelar breaks down fiat-backed, crypto collateral, hybrid, and tokenized deposit models with revenue math. Covers US, EU, UK, SG, and even JP reg, so lawyers don't bill you 500 hours. Cross-chain tolling promises issuers one-click multi-chain reach instead of 6 separate dev teams. And yes, this is where we actually start to see interoperable networks streamlining stablecoin use cases and also the volume and the value behind them. And that's exactly what Axelar is even saying here as well. Interoperable networks streamline cross-border payments and DeFi access, creating a single gateway to faster transactions and broader global market participation. Without these key pieces, right, we are not going to see some of these markets at scale. We won't see, the cross-border payment side of the market with stablecoins become a huge success. We need interoperability. We need interconnectivity in this space as well. And again, Axelar is the enabler here. That's why they're actually calling Axelar the Swift network for blockchains. Axelar is like the Swift network for blockchains, but open, programmable, and designed for tokenized assets. It doesn't have to move tokens. It moves cross-chain messages securely and reliably. And here we actually have that breakdown. Axelar is the Swift network for blockchains. Banking analogy. Swift doesn't move money. It moves standardized messages that instruct how money should move between banks. Axelar performs a similar function for blockchains by securely passing messages and transaction intents across chains. Just as Swift enabled global financial connectivity between institutions running on different core systems, Axelar enables global composability between smart contracts across heterogeneous blockchain environments. Importantly, Axelar does this in a decentralized, programmable, and cryptographically secure way with no central operator needed. And then here we also have the continued breakdown. Swift connects banks by standardizing how they communicate across core systems, a trusted system with decades of history. Axelar brings that standardization to stablecoins, tokenized funds, and other assets on chain, enabling smart contracts to communicate across networks. Axelar is built for this environment, non-custodial and programmable by design. And yes, this is also something that I would love to take note of, even when it comes to XRP, because again, you might say, and you might make the argument, okay, well, Nick, Axelar is great, but it really is not needed for the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain. Well, number one, I would say that is wrong because it is needed. But on top of that, it's not just built around the XRP Ledger EVM. If you guys remember that announcement back in 2024, Axelar announced the partnership with Ripple. Now, that was to actually enable standardization and even more interoperability between stablecoins and tokenized assets on the XRP Ledger. The EVM sidechain was just another big thing and another piece of that puzzle. So when we think about the partnership with Axelar and even the XRP Ledger, it's much bigger than just the EVM sidechain, which is also why I say if you hold XRP, this is a crucial piece of the puzzle to focus on. And also even XLM, right? Like even XLM is tied back to Axelar. So many big networks in this space are tied back to Axelar. And it's because of what Axelar is actually enabling here. So when we think about this market right now, on the lows, if you can buy up some of these projects like Axelar that are just absolutely flatlined against their previous lows and haven't made a lot of major moves just yet, I mean, this chart wants to break out. Once it officially does, it will be too late to buy cheap Axelar, in my opinion. So now is the best time to lock in and focus on projects like this that continue to make so much noise, continue to expand, even though the price action hasn't yet. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.